Welcome to ASTRALX, illuminating your cosmic path, where we dive deep into the profound influence of the stars on your life.
I'm Lunaria Selene, your intuitive guide.
And I'm Solarian Zephyr, your cosmic strategist.
Today, we're taking you, the learner, on a fascinating journey, a deep dive into the potent astrological combination of a Gemini sun with a Scorpio rising for the year 2025.
It's all about understanding how these unique celestial energies might play out in your life this year.
It's about weaving together that intellectual agility with a depth of intensity.
We're going to unpack the core essence of both the Gemini sun and the Scorpio rising
And then we're going to trace the movements of the planets in 2025.
to see how they all interact and what that means for you.
We've gathered insights from all sorts of sources to bring you a really multifaceted understanding.
We've got astrological sites like Ganesha Speaks, AstroTalk, and broader perspectives.
We've even delved into some Reddit discussions to see what people are experiencing on the ground level.
So, Lunaria, let's start by shedding some light on the Gemini sun.
The Gemini sun is so deeply connected to Mercury, that fleet-footed messenger of the gods.
Mercury, of course, governing communication and intellect.
It's like the very heart of the Gemini archetype just beats with this mental agility.
We often see these beautiful traits blossoming in Geminis. A keen intellect, a vibrant need to connect and share, and just an insatiable curiosity.
That propels them to explore all sorts of ideas, doesn't it?
They are the quintessential seekers of knowledge, always with a finger in many pies, intellectually speaking,
Absolutely.
and flitting between subjects with that adaptable grace and sparkling Gemini wit.
Right.
But one thing I noticed, even in some of the lighter discussions, is this potential for restlessness. Almost like a whisper of boredom if things stay still for too long.
Yeah, that dynamism can cast a bit of a shadow, can it?
Yeah.
Because their minds are often racing ahead, looking for the next adventure.
Exactly. Eager for that next intellectual stimulation. And while they have this amazing ability to bridge ideas, to connect people, expressing those deeper, more vulnerable emotions can sometimes feel like unfamiliar terrain.
It's like their compass is always pointing towards the realm of thought.
It really is.
Yeah.
And, there's this inherent duality woven into the fabric of Gemini. Is there
Absolutely.
this sense of containing multiple facets within one being?
Yeah, and it's really fundamental.
One source even said it perfectly. I'm a Gemini. Know that means there are two very different sides to me.
And it's the source of their adaptability, their ability to see all these different perspectives.
Right.
And yet, sometimes it comes across as contrasting traits, like a moment of deep seriousness, followed by a sudden flash of levity.
Exactly.
It's like they're constantly exploring life through all these different lenses.
Like that Dr. Seuss quote. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go.
Right.
That really,
That really captures the boundless Gemini spirit.
It does. Perfectly. So we've explored that inner landscape of the Gemini sun. Let's turn our gaze now to the Scorpio rising. This is the mask we wear, the energy we project outwards, the first impression.
It's the alchemical vessel that colors how we initially present ourselves to the world.
And Scorpio, co-ruled by Mars and Pluto. Those forces of drive, transformation, deep power.
It's not a fleeting energy, is it?
No, not at all. So what are the defining characteristics of a Scorpio rising? We always hear the word mysterious swirling around Scorpio.
And that's accurate, isn't it? There's this immediate intensity and aura that can feel very enigmatic. They have this profound depth, like they're all these hidden currents running beneath the surface.
With a quiet power,
A quiet but palpable power, yes.
we see them carrying themselves with a certain confidence.
And that gaze, so many people mention that piercing gaze.
It's like they're seeing beyond the superficial, like they're looking right through you.
Yeah.
And one source beautifully described this as, Scorpio individuals are like life detectives, always looking for the deeper meaning.
Yes, and it's that relentless quest for what lies beneath, that need to excavate the hidden layers that's so captivating.
They're not content with surface appearances.
Not at all.
They need to understand the motivations, the why behind things.
And that fuels their ambition, their determination. They're not afraid of the shadow. In fact, they're drawn to it.
Absolutely. And I imagine that intensity also colors their personal connections. They're probably not the type to cultivate a wide circle of casual acquaintances.
They're very private individuals. They value loyalty and authenticity above all else.
So we have this pairing. The Gemini sun, so curious, communicative, and the Scorpio rising, projecting this intensity and mystery. How do these energies typically interact within an individual?
It's like a constant negotiation between that inner world of intellectual curiosity and the outward projection of intensity.
So you might meet someone who can effortlessly engage you in witty banter, explore a vast spectrum of ideas, but also has that undeniable intensity.
Right, there's a depth there that hints at something more.
Like they're approachable and quick-witted, but you sense this powerful undercurrent.
The Gemini adaptability helps them navigate social landscapes while embodying that Scorpio persona.
So their communication skills allow them to engage in all sorts of situations. But that Scorpio depth adds a layer of focus and determination to their intellectual pursuits.
It prevents them from just skimming the surface. They have this desire to delve into the core.
It makes for a very intriguing dynamic, and I can see how people might form very different first impressions.
Absolutely, because the energies can be perceived in contrasting ways.
Some might see them as reserved or shy, while others sense that magnetic intensity right away.
What's really illuminating is how the Gemini communication skills are sharpened by that inherent Scorpio intuition.
They can read between the lines, pick up on those unspoken cues that others might miss.
They might even be able to sense hidden agendas.
It's like they have this hidden antenna.
And they can wield their Gemini charm with finesse, but it's often underpinned by that Scorpio awareness.
Almost like they're operating on two different levels.
Exactly. One part engaging with the external world, fueled by curiosity, and the other part observing with that penetrating intensity.
It sounds like a lot to juggle.
It can be.
Well, let's move on to 2025 and see how some of the major planetary transits might influence this combination.
We have some big players making moves this year.
Like Jupiter entering Gemini around May 14th.
Yes, that's a really auspicious transit for the Gemini sun. Jupiter brings expansion and good fortune, so we often see the surge in confidence.
And amplified communication skills.
Absolutely. They're likely to feel a lot more optimistic, more inclined to share their ideas, maybe even embark on some new learning journeys.
Maybe even start some creative projects.
For the Scorpio rising, Jupiter can also bring opportunities for partnerships and collaborations.
That's wonderful. What else is on the horizon?
Uranus, the great awakener, the planet of innovation, also enters Gemini around July 7th.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
Uranus is known for bringing about unexpected shifts and a strong desire for freedom. So we might see some pretty big changes, especially in their thought patterns and the way they communicate.
A little disruptive, maybe?
It's certainly possible. Uranus is all about breaking free from those established patterns and embracing the unconventional.
So the Gemini sun might feel this urge for greater independence.
In how they express themselves and formulate their ideas, yes.
And for the Scorpio rising?
They might feel like disrupting some routines, taking a more innovative, maybe even rebellious approach.
So while Jupiter brings expansion and ease, Uranus injects a bit of the unexpected.
It pushes them out of their comfort zones.
Right. And then we also have Saturn, the planet of discipline and responsibility, moving into Aries around March 29th.
That's a more grounding influence.
Yes, it is. So for the Gemini sun, it could bring a heightened focus on long-term goals.
A need to solidify those ambitions, take a more serious approach, perhaps.
And for the Scorpio rising.
It often highlights areas where they need to be more structured, more responsible, think long-term.
So a time for laying solid foundations.
Yes, absolutely.
Now Venus, the planet of love and values, turns retrograde in Pisces from March 1st to April 12th.
Venus retrograde is always a time for introspection.
Especially in matters of relationships and values.
For the Gemini sun, this could bring a reassessment of what they truly value.
And maybe even some past connections resurfacing.
It's an invitation to revisit past dynamics and get clarity on current desires.
Interesting. What about the Scorpio rising?
They may also find themselves examining their relationship patterns.
So looking inward in matters of the heart.
Yes.
And finally, we can't forget the lunar and solar eclipses that are going to be gracing the skies throughout 2025.
They're always powerful catalysts for change.
Yes, big turning points.
The lunar eclipses around March 14th and September 7th often bring emotional revelations.
So things that have been hidden come to light.
Exactly. And the solar eclipses on March 29th and September 21st signify new beginnings.
Fresh starts.
Absolutely.
Now, focusing on love and relationships, it seems like there's this inherent dance between the Gemini need for intellectual stimulation and the Scorpio craving for that deep, profound connection. How might that play out in their romantic lives?
Well, the Gemini sun thrives on that mental spark,
Like
right?
witty conversation.
But the Scorpio rising needs that deep loyalty and emotional intimacy.
So finding a partner who can ignite both the mind and the soul is key.
Someone who can be a stimulating conversationalist, but also a deeply supportive, emotionally available partner.
Exactly.
And as we discussed, Scorpio risings often need partners who are willing to navigate those complexities of emotions.
That Venus retrograde period could be really insightful for them.
Yes, they might reevaluate what they're truly looking for.
And what about family? How might this combination play out if they're a parent, for example?
Well, they're likely to encourage their children's intellectual curiosity,
Nurturing that love of learning that's so strong in Gemini,
but also providing that emotional security.
that sense of loyalty and connection that's so important to Scorpio.
It's a beautiful balance.
Now let's talk about career and ambition in 2025.
With that sharp Gemini intellect and the transformative drive of Scorpio, there's a lot of potential.
What professional paths might be particularly well suited for this combination?
I'm thinking careers that demand mental agility, the capacity for in-depth analysis, investigation, maybe even a bit of detective work.
Oh yes, that Scorpio instinct to uncover the truth.
Exactly. Journalism, strategic planning, maybe even the fast-paced worlds of technology and finance.
Where insightful communication and analysis are valued.
Absolutely.
The career horoscopes we explored for both Gemini and Scorpio suggest a year of transformation and growth, with opportunities for new ventures and career advancement.
And with Saturn and Aries, there's this emphasis on disciplined effort, a responsible approach to achieving goals.
Right, it's not just about having brilliant ideas.
You have to put in the work.
Now, how about personal growth and transformation in 2025?
Well, with Scorpio being so focused on transformation, this is a big theme.
It seems like the energies of 2025 are really encouraging introspection and a willingness to embrace change.
The adaptability of Gemini and the self-mastery of Scorpio will be huge assets
So a year for digging deep.
into the external world and the internal landscape.
Now, lastly, let's touch upon spirituality.
This could be a year where they feel drawn to explore their inner wisdom.
Scorpio's natural inclination towards the esoteric, combined with Gemini's curiosity.
It might lead them to seek a deeper understanding of life's mysteries.
And Neptune and Aries throughout the year could also heighten their intuition.
It encourages a more spiritual perspective
It's not just about the facts and figures, there's a yearning for connection.
to something bigger than themselves.
So, as you navigate 2025, dear learner, remember that blend of Gemini curiosity and Scorpio intensity.
The celestial tides are pointing towards a year of growth, deeper connections, and a richer understanding of yourself.
Consider how those energies manifest in your own life.
When do you feel that dialogue between your inner communicator and your watchful observer?
This deep dive is just a starting point, a celestial map to guide you. We encourage you to reflect on these insights and maybe even explore your broader astrological chart.
For a more personalized understanding
What questions does this spark for you?
about your own unique journey.
Thank you for joining us on ASTRALX. Be sure to follow us for more illuminating deep dives into your cosmic blueprint.
And if you're seeking a truly personalized illumination of your cosmic path for 2025, Solarian and I offer in-depth audio readings delivered straight to your inbox.
You can find purchase links and more information in the description below.
Until our next celestial exploration.